everybody, and welcome to another week of wild and wacky chit chats with the twins. I am Krista, and I'm flying solo today. So you get me today. I'm going to give you guys a minute here to pop on and make sure that I can see your lovely comments here as you come on. So this is episode 30 already, and I called it What's Stopping You from Asking for More. So I have been hearing, good morning Louie again, I've been hearing a lot of people just talking about being bored, and especially like in the time of Corona, being bored, just not really knowing what they should be doing and finding all sorts of things, almost like excuses to not do and not be and not have all the things that they truly want in their life. And I have found myself really feeling not bored, but like something's missing, and I'm not really sure what that is. And often in the evenings is a time for me that I've kind of got into a repetitive way of being, where I've decided that I don't want to do anything after, like, say 7 o'clock. Good morning, Mom. Good morning, Amber. Nice to see, and happy Canada Day, you guys. It's a beautiful day here in Davidson, Saskatchewan. And anyways, I found that in the evenings I'm either like reading or watching a show or watching a movie with the kids, and I've really been getting bored with that. Like it's turned into something that just is the way every evening is, where I don't want to start anything new, I don't want to get into any projects, I don't want to get creative, I don't want to do anything. Good morning, Mary Lynn. I am not bored. You're going fishing. I know. I don't exactly... I do understand the idea of being bored, but I don't, just because we have so much at our fingertips. Like, we could learn an instrument, we could learn any subject. We have the internet that will teach us anything and everything. But people... Here's where I'm getting with this. The rain is definitely gone from this morning, Louie. It's like so beautiful out. So anyways, here's where I'm getting with this, all of this. And I invite you guys to ask yourself this question: is your ask big enough? So is what you're asking for big enough? Are you feeling bored, or are you feeling like something is missing because you are not asking for enough? You are stopping yourself from asking for all that you truly desire because of all of the reasons that we have that prevents us from asking for what it is that we truly desire. Because here's the thing: we can have anything that we want, and all we have to do is ask. And it's been around from the beginning of time: ask and ye shall receive, seek and ye shall find. But we don't think, for whatever reason, that that is real. We have all these reasons and justifications and excuses that that isn't so for us. But let me tell you, it is possible for anyone. All you have to do to have anything in life is ask for it. Most of the time, we don't even ask for it. We don't know that we can. We don't know we're allowed to. We stop ourselves because we feel selfish, because we feel greedy, because we worry about being judged, because of all the reasons that we have. And I just wrote down a couple of questions that have really inspired me this week, that have really triggered me to really take a good look at my life and ask myself, am I asking for enough? So what have you made so valuable in this reality that you would give it up for you? And everything that brings up times a gazillion, I know, destroy and uncreate it all, right, wrong, good, bad, pop, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. What have you made so valuable in this reality that you would give it up for you? And everything that brings up times a gazillion, I now destroy and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, all nine shorts, boys and meons. And what creation of these values am I using to validate other people's values? And everything that brings up times a gazillion, I now destroy and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, all nine shorts, boys and meons. So what have you made so valuable in this reality that you would give it up for you? Where are you making your ask mediocre, small, unsatisfying, bored, creating boredom because someone else's values are more valuable than your own? That one can be a little bit of a tough pill to swallow because it's like, oh, I've been doing that? Why would I do that? Who knows? Because it's the normal thing to do. Because it's the right thing to do. Because we will fit in. We will have these connection points with other people that we find comforting. We choose these comfort zones and these connections with people over creativity because it's what feels comfortable to us, because it's all that we know, it's all that we've chosen before. And that can lead to a lot of boredom, and it can lead to a lot of unhealthy habits that we are covering up because we don't know what else to do. We feel like something's missing. We don't want to choose because we don't want to choose too great, because it's too scary, because it's wrong. And all of these things that are holding us back from being who we truly be are called distractor implants. And so it's like all of these little hamster wheels. I like to think of it as hamster wheels or like an infinity loop. And it's all these things that whenever we are at the point where we could choose something, where we could create something, that all of a sudden we are like, I couldn't do that. We jump on these hamster wheels and we distract ourselves in there for some time so that we don't have to face what it is that we truly desire because we don't think we deserve to. So what if you were willing to not distract yourself and really ask yourself and really be honest with yourself? What is it that I truly desire? And everything that brings up times a gazillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. So I have popped back into this book, Living Beyond Distractions by Gary Douglas and Dane here. And it has all of the distractor implants. It groups them into about 4 different things. And the chapter that I'm reading right now is called Blame, Shame, Regret, and Guilt. So I'm just going to read a little bit of it to you guys. Blame, shame, regret, and guilt, distractor implants. These distractor implants are designed to take away everything that is powerful about you. In the last set of distractor implants, Gary says, we talked about anger, rage, fury, and hate, and how through these you get yourself into a place of reaction and lose the ability to act. With blame, shame, regret, and guilt, you go into a place of judgment where you cannot act. You become reactive. You don't ever act totally, and you always instantaneously assume a wrongness. You know, this is really not in your best interest. So then the call participant says, can you speak about distractor implants and all the ways we take on someone else's universe? Gary says, we haven't trained ourselves to be in sync with everybody. So it's like those connection points. We have trained ourselves to be in sync with everybody else. In this reality, we think being in sync is more important than anything else. There's that value right there. That value that we find more valuable than us. But how many of you have had the feeling that somehow you are not marching to the same drummer as everybody else? That feeling like something is missing, that boredom, that antsiness, that, you guys know that feeling that I'm talking about. So the call participant says, I chose a Jewish family in this life. Can you please do a clearing on this type of heritage where the guilt, shame, blame thing seems to be an epidemic? I'm going to talk about humans and humanoids, and I'm pretty sure that Karen and I have talked about humans and humanoids before, but basically humans think that everything else is other people's fault. Humanoids think that everything is their own fault. Like, everything that happens around me is my fault. Somehow I'm the one to blame for it. So this person says, I chose a Jewish family in this life. Can you please do a clearing on this type of heritage where the guilt, shame, blame thing seems to be epidemic? And Gary says, pretty much all churches, cults, and religions are designed to put you into blame, shame, regret, and guilt as often as possible. The interesting part of this is that it works really well on humanoids, those ones that everything is their own fault, because they will go into judgment of themselves. Humans, on the other hand, do not judge themselves. They tend not to do guilt. Humans will go to blame. They'll say, I couldn't help myself. You made me do it. They blame you. Humans will always tell you how you are wrong and they are right. Dane says, blame, shame, regret, and guilt only work on humanoids. They only work against humanoids. So if you're a humanoid, you will always have humans who blame you, refuse to take any responsibility, and try to shame you. They will try to get you to go into regret and to feel guilty while never experiencing those things themselves. From the human point of view, blame, shame, regret, and guilt are a great humanoid equalizer. They bring humanoids down to the human level because when you are functioning from blame, shame, regret, and guilt, you are always functioning as less than you. See what I mean? We don't get to choose and be who we want to be because we're like sucked down into these distractor implants. We're like roped down, chained down into this prison of a world to keep us like everybody else so we don't have to stand out. These distractor implants are a way of making you, a humanoid, fit in with the humans. They're a way of making you fit into this reality so you can be controlled by the humans. Gary says, the distractor implants are designed to synchronize you into the human reality, and once you get distractor implants out of the way, you start to have the power and potency of you as a humanoid. So then the call participant says, being aware of the distractor implants and all the trigger systems that allow them to exist and control me, and being able to choose the potency that is underneath them has changed my reality and allowed me to have more energy than I knew was possible. The deep underlying exhaustion in my body and being that I have been aware of for years has dissipated, and all of the potency underneath it is now being used generatively. Like, that is truly amazing. Like, how much are we hurting our bodies, our beings? Like, we're tired all the time. We're tired of fighting. Do you know how much energy it takes to fit in, to rein ourselves in, to like hold ourselves back? Do you know how much energy that takes, how exhausting that is, just so that we can fit in? It's like, what if we could let go of that rope? What if we could be willing to fall? What if we could be willing to be judged, willing to receive it all, no matter what that looks like? I'm gonna lose my tripod here. This is what Dane says. This is why we are doing each of the distractor implants in sets of 4. Each set of them requires a certain amount of energy to keep them into existence. So I ask you, in this moment to just drop all of your barriers, all of your points of views, all of your baggage that you think you have to hang on to, and expand yourself out into the infinite space of being that you as an infinite being truly be, beyond all the judgments and all the distractor implants. And I'm going to read a question to you, and I just ask you to let that energy flow through you. How much energy are you using to keep blame, shame, regret, and guilt as real for you? A lot, a little, or megatons? And everything that is times a gazillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. And the participant says, are blame, shame, regret, and guilt always directed at me? Are they solely directed at me? Is that correct? And Gary says, no, people will blame you and you will blame yourself. And Dane says, blaming doesn't actually work with humans, but you can blame humanoids by saying something like, it was your fault. You made me do it. And we, of course, obviously think, yeah, I did. Oh my God, I'm so wrong. I'm so bad. I'm so mean. I got to change who I'm being. I shouldn't have said that. And now, like, I'm beating myself up over it all the time. And this participant says, it seems to me that I only blame myself. I only have shame for my body and me. I don't have shame for anybody else but me. That is what I mean. I don't do it to anybody else. I only do it to me. And Gary says, yes, you are correct. It is designed to interiorize you. It always makes you see you as a wrongness. So what physical actualization of the self-abusive, interiorizing, self-flagellating, self-mutilating, self-abasing disease of blame, shame, regret, and guilt are you not acknowledging as the source for elimination of being in favor of the wrongness? I gotta say that all over again. What physical actualization of the self-abusive, interiorizing, self-flagellating, self-mutilating, self-abasing disease of blame, shame, regret, and guilt are you not acknowledging as the source for eliminating of being in favor of the wrongness of you? Everything that is times a gazillion will you destroy and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So we can know all of this. I gotta read this, what Gary says here. This person says, since the last call, I have a sense that there is a me underneath this all. There is a me underneath all of these distractor implants. Do you guys feel that? Do you sense that? Like, that is the part that is like itching underneath, that wants to be released. And we have all these distractions. And Gary says, I used to tell people about distractor implants, and I'd say, if you are reacting to these implants, it's not really you. And he assumed that people would say, oh, that's not me. It's a distractor implant, and not buy it. But I assumed wrongly. Assumption makes an ass out of you and me. It's like synchronized swimming, where everybody else uses their arms in the same way, at the exact same time. Or it's like line dancing. Everybody is doing the same steps as though they are getting someplace, but they are not getting any place. They are all just dancing to the same tune. The problem, that is the problem. It's like you are some kind of marionette. You have no choice. Blame, shame, regret, and guilt take away choice. That's why we're doing this call. Somehow people either A, don't get it, or B, don't realize they actually have a choice as to whether they choose to have this problem or not. So, my friends, how many distractor implants do you have holding you back, holding you stuck in this current reality that you are functioning from, leaving you feeling like something is missing, like you're bored, like you don't know what that next step is. I don't know what I want. I don't know what it is that I want. Is it actually that, or is that just an excuse that we are using to prevent us from asking what it is that we truly desire? So If you could have the life you truly desire, what would that be like? Well, not what would that look like? What would that be like? If you could have the life that you truly desired, what would that be like? What would you ask for? Would you be willing? Would you just be willing to ask for it is that you truly desire? That is a really interesting question. And a really easy way with all of this is to be an interesting point of view. So that's also not always easy to do because we're so used to fighting this reality. We're so used to aligning and agreeing with this reality. But start saying with anything and everything, interesting point of view, I have this point of view. Interesting point of view, they have this point of view. Interesting point of view, I have this point of view, that they have this point of view. Like, if we could just like cancel, clear, delete everything that we think should be a certain way, and we could just function from a blank slate, from total ease and joy and glory, and total happiness, total freedom, ease, joy, and glory, what would you truly ask for? If you didn't have to worry about anybody else or anything else, what would you ask for? And the easiest way to get to that state where you can really get present with yourself is by dropping all of these things called our points of views and our barriers and our beliefs and everything we've been told and everything we've bought is real and true. And also an acknowledgement and an awareness that 99% of the things that we think about, the things that we feel, the emotions that we think are real, 99% of the time, those are not even ours. They are yet again one of those distractions that we buy into as real and true, so that we don't have to choose because we don't want to stand out. But if you are anything like me right now, where you just have had enough, you are just ready to move beyond all of this, then expand beyond all of it. So everything you believe to be real and true right now in this moment, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate all of that times a gazillion? Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So get a sense of the area right outside of your skin, every part of you. And think of the little molecules of energy dancing around, and expand them out past your physical body, into the room that you're into the space that you're in every direction. And go beyond that into the building that you're in every direction, pushing out the front of you, pushing out the back, pushing to the left of you, to the right, above you, and below you. And then pushing into the country that you're in, and the continent, and filling you in the whole earth, going through to the core of the earth to the other side, and then out into the universe beyond the earth, and go 100,000 miles beyond that, and 100,000 miles beyond that, into the infinite space of being, where anything is possible, where you don't have a care in the world, where you don't have to compare yourself to anybody else. You don't have to get it right. There is no right and there is no wrong. There is only choice. So from this space of infinity, where you truly could do and be and have anything that you truly desired, I want you to get really present right now and ask yourself, what is it that I truly, truly desire? And then just get a sense of that energy that brings up for you. That makes you feel excited, that makes you feel giddy, that makes you feel happy. What is that energy? And would you be willing to go after that energy no matter what that looks like, no matter what that shows up like? I don't care what it takes. I don't care what I have to be. I don't care who I have to lose. I choose to be kind to me from this point forward. And everything that brings up times a gazillion, I now destroy and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So really today I invite you to ask yourself, is my ask big enough? Is what I'm asking for, is it big enough? Is it enough? And if it's not, what would it take? What would it take for me to be willing to receive so that I can ask for what it is that I truly, truly desire? Life is too damn short, you guys. So today is Canada Day here in Canada. July 1st. So let it be a brand new day. Let it be a day that you move forward fearlessly no matter what. Would you be willing to do that for you? Would you be willing to move past your comfort zone and into the unknown? And what have you made so valuable in this reality that you would give up you for it? Because I'm not willing to give me up anymore. And maybe you might feel the same way too. So that's kind of really it, and that's really all I got for today, you guys. And I thank you for joining me. And I do just really, really ask you to think about this. Really think about what you've been asking for and get honest with yourself in what is holding you back. What is truly holding you back? And is it more valuable than you and your happiness? Have an amazing day. Thank you for joining me in another week of wild and wacky chit chats with the twins. And I will see you guys somewhere out there at another time. Have a beautiful, amazing, glorious day and be happy. Choose your happiness today. Bye-bye.